All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Kakadash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out there pushing this truth and sincerity. And this probably be a short video as I'm going into not particularly what's going on here, but the acts of it. Because you see people getting probably maced down, beat down, taken away, dragged. You see this in pretty much a lot of your riots, or they will try to hold the post and keep people from getting past that line. But you're going to start seeing more riots that get worse than that, right? I'm talking about like they would like martial law. They go on the offensive and start gunning people down, like you with actual bullets. You're gonna start seeing that stuff because with how things are going, there's no comfortability in the society. People rely on their laws and rights and money to get them by, but that's not working. Especially since people getting more angry as time goes on with the lack of such things, right? So it's gonna get even more worse than what you even seen with this or any accorded riot out there known to man, right? These small little riots, they just preludes to what's really about to happen, right? So I'm gonna kick it off with the scripture. This is 2 Peter 2:13. It says, "And shall receive." Actually, did I want this? No. Actually, yeah. Okay. Here we go. Let me see. So like, yeah, actually, I'm gonna go back a verse. This is 2 Peter 2:12. It says, but these as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. And that's even our own people at that point, because our people has been made as the natural brute beast because of how we've been taken down. And it says even made to be taken and destroyed. We are taken and destroyed, and they're speaking of evil things that they don't even understand. They speak evil towards us, and they'll bring up this whole propaganda thing of what about not trusting the government, but they do the very opposite of that, right? So uh so you see them the so you see how people being corrupted on a daily day basis. Then you see so like I was going to try to find something, but I'll find it later. But the corruption of people has gone higher and higher. You see the mindset of our people, how they act, what they do? You think how they act and what they do is not going to be any worse than when that time happens when they actually are pissed off that they get cut off from money or their rights ain't being quote unquote respected as they like to say it. Especially since when Esau raised them horns, it's going to get even worse, right? He's going to release all sorts of plagues and all this other stuff. It's already bad enough that I got an article taught about that the dogs need to get the shot because of a what do they call it? Highly transmitted disease. I'm not sure if they were quoting that to the sea crown or some other type of disease, but Esau's in control of all that stuff. And so, what happens when you got a lot of people that wants to take it, and then a lot of people that don't want to take it? You're gonna have two people fighting up against each other, and especially since when all things get boiled down, especially when it comes to threatening your jobs, either people's going to take it or people going to lose their jobs and homes, and people are going to still be pissed off about either side of it. Because you probably had a lot of people that didn't want to take that jump shot, but they got scared into it, and 9 times out of 10, they probably got messed up behind it. So you're going to start seeing a large scale of more riots. And I'm not even just talking about this Palestine crap. This is just something to keep people distracted. But it's something far worse than that is going to kick in. And it probably might even be World War III. I wouldn't be surprised because guess what? They're going to start drafting people regardless. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to have a fit about that, right? Actually, let me go into the next verse. It says, "And shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they that counted pleasure to riot in the daytime or nighttime." And so, what would that reward of unrighteousness be? It could be even death, or it could be them being taken by Esau, right? So they're gonna get their reward. They're serving a purpose, right? So every purpose has a reward to be served, right? Whether it's good or bad. And it says, "Spots they are, and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings, while they feast with you." And see, that's what they'll do, right? Actually, let me go to the. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, you'll have our people deceiving themselves while they try to try to get cool with us or try to do some other stuff. But it doesn't work because at the end they got their reward. We only out there seeking salvation, especially not being entrapped or ensnared by Esau. We see these things happening before they end up coming because the Lord blessed us with that insight to be able to predict those things. But these people don't have those predictions. They don't understand that them laws and rights they have don't mean anything. But they'll talk the cool words, try to make it seem like yeah, it's important. It's important to vote. Your votes led you to your own downfall, right? So this is Ecclesiastes 12:3, right? Actually, let me go back. Yep. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few." Right? If you got the strong men, which will be the military, number one, but it also goes into the grinders, which is your workers. Even your job cease, which means if the job's gone, no the jobs. It's like if the job's gone, there's no workers, which means a lot of layoffs. Nobody's getting hired, at least not for a long while, and you may end up homeless. You can't bank on Social Security because in that day you won't see no Social Security. You won't see no social services. You won't see any programs supporting keeping you in your house. All right. It says, "And those that look out of the windows be darkened," because guess what? That happy, lively life of yours that you thought was good, that you had rights and a home and a car that you thought you owned, it didn't mean nothing in the end. Now you out there riding for nothing. But these things need to happen. These things, we need these things to happen. We need these people to get out there and be angry because nothing's working. Why? Because we need the prophecies to happen. Why? Because it makes us get out of here closer and closer. Martial law kicks in, World War III kicks in, the micro game kicks in, the the structure of the society kicks in, which is it's pretty much happening. Roads are messed up left and right, buildings old as hell, some of them collapsing. It's this place ain't holding up too well. So everything is starting to decay here, even the people's mentality. And this is what happens when you have a unrighteous kingdom. It falls apart, right? So this is Jeremiah 51:58. It says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken. And we're seeing it, right? This is definitely talking about in the day, but we're seeing the broad walls of this place being utterly broken. Nothing's holding up here. It says, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, right? The funny part is when I read that part, it kind of reminds me of like the how you get planes to leave out, like if you need to escort people, they use planes instead of trains or ships. That's going to all three of those going to be cut off. So your planes, your ships, your tunnels with trains, all that's going to be cut off. But that's primarily this place in general going to be burnt with fire. And it says, and the people shall labor in vain, and they will. These people, they are already laboring in vain. We're laboring in vain to this day, for as far as laboring for Esau, because the money doesn't hold up for anything. They always had a term, and it's a true term. The more you make, the more they take. So you kind of either making out or you're not making out at all. Depends on what it is, right? But this is also for when that dollar crashes, when you basically work for free. They show that in the movies too, where they would just keep coming to work. It's like a Stockholm syndrome in that matter. Because any other it's like an average person out there wouldn't work for free. And funny enough, in that movie, I forgot what it was called. I need to find it again. But in that movie, it was all Edomites working. Because this is their way of upholding their society, even if they make nothing out of it, right? It says, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. And this equates to the down, because we're basically in that fire, that the breakdown of this fire, because it's not a cool day out here. Everybody's pissed off. They heated, right? But it says they shall be weary, and people are getting tired, and people going to get more tired, right? People are now relying on sports and some other way to make it seem like their hometown is going to get better. Because I mentioned that because the elder of the camp said that basically he was talking to someone. He was like, as far as in football, the one team was going to win. That'll make this place a little bit more peaceful. See, that's a problem when you're relying on a sport to make it seem like this place is going to be peaceful when nothing has ever been peaceful in this society, right? Esau may get all his peace, but even that's not even happening now, right? So that fire is about to be stoked to kick off even more, because people get more and more worried, right? People get more pissed off. They're tired of all the stuff that's going on. You're going to start seeing more riots, and it's going to be escalated to the highest level. You're going to start. I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing the homeless riot. And they have. It's like I could say they could probably have the most reason to riot, because America done failed them. A lot of your military men that come back disabled ends up being homeless. You see them outside with the signs all the time. Homeless vet. Every time. I'm starting to see some of these foreigners that came over here is becoming homeless. Though it's very rare. I've only seen like maybe 2 at a time. But again, that's very rare. Usually they'll stick out for their own. But that's bad when even you start seeing foreigners coming over this place becoming homeless. Right? So that's all I have going to that. So little one, this is a little edifying with that. Shalom.